Well, we're back with the Becoming Less podcast, and we're joined by two of our lovely guests. Introduce yourself, Noelle.
You introduced me for me, but this is Noelle. I've been going across city all my life, and then this is Clementine. She's never been to church, but she still believes in God.
Yeah. Is Clementine a big fan of oranges?
I don't know, but she's a huge fan of blueberries.
Okay.
She really likes blueberries. She really likes bugs.
All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Whenever there's a cockroach in the house, I just pick her up and she's got it.
Yeah, that's crazy. You grow your own bugs to feed her? That's a weird question.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I just see TikTok videos. I'm not going to lie. And I believe literally everything I see on the internet, I believe.
I don't grow my own bugs. No.
I saw this person who put trash in this giant pile, and then they were growing maggots or whatever. And then they fed them to their chickens.
We do not grow maggots, but we get a bag from Tractor Supply.
All right.
And we get some, it's just microwave bugs, microwave maggots, microwaved something. Oh, yeah. Are you telling me about it, girl? She's a little warm. She's fine, though.
Yeah, she's just vibing. She's here for the vibes.
Yeah.
Well, so we'll go with a little history. You said that you've been attending Cross City for basically your entire life, right?
Yeah.
I have a memory of the first time that I remember interacting with you. I don't know if I like to go back to this place all the time, but when I was your age, a senior in high school, I started serving on Saturday nights. Mm-hmm. And it holds a special place in my heart, mainly because I can't ever forget it, even though I've tried to block it out of my memory, because every Saturday night, the Saturday night kids in kids' church would just beat me up every night. And I feel like I remember you partaking in said beatdowns.
I wouldn't be surprised. I did go a couple of times.
Yeah.
I have no recollection of this.
Interesting.
Knowing elementary school Noelle, there was definitely some beating.
Listen, to be honest, if I was a child and I saw me serving on a Saturday night, I'd want to beat me up too. Most of the junior high kids want to beat me up. So it's just like a rite of passage. So I don't know, but I just remember, you, I remember your older brother. We can kind of pass the chicken off now.
Bye, chicken.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember you guys kind of, I don't know, it's just a fond memory, even though I've tried to block out that portion of life. It's just a fond memory. I remember you running around, all that good stuff. And then you got into junior high.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Junior high was fun.
That's your personal opinion of it.
I mean, it has been a third of my life, so
yeah.
I've spent most of my life, or not most of my life, I've spent a lot of time in junior high now.
Yeah. I only spent 2 years, so.
Yeah. Lucky you. I've been stuck there for a long time, but I've loved it.
Yeah.
But for you had kind of an interesting junior high experience, because I believe you were the COVID years.
I was the COVID years. COVID started my 6th grade year, and then 7th grade online. I hated it. Oh,
yeah.
Keaton. I hated it so much.
Yeah.
Because I was always a very smart kid. I had A's all of elementary school. Not that it was that hard, but
yeah.
And then I had my first really bad grade, 7th grade year, and I just was so upset.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't understand. I needed a teacher. I needed someone to be right there and be I didn't even need that much instruction. I just needed that support. Mm-hmm. And I needed that environment of a classroom. So sitting in my bed trying to learn the mitochondria was not a very good...
The powerhouse
of the cell. I have no recollection.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I remember doing, I've done a lot of online college and stuff like that. And there were some things that were easier than others. Even an in-person statistics class when I was in college was pretty rough. Because there's just so much more on you. I can't imagine what it would be like to fully have no basis of junior high and then enter into that stuff.
It was rough.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt bad for you guys, to be honest, but I knew that was kind of an interesting season for me too, because we were one of the only churches that were open.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was, there were some bonuses and some drawbacks that came with that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I remember being on that field and just dying of allergies because that was the only place we could meet.
Yeah.
Because outside.
And when you started, it was kind of like, it's like kind of the craziness that was 2020 was at the beginning of the summer, we had people mad at us because we were running and we didn't require masks and we were outside and all that stuff. And then in August hit and the creek fire happened and all of the ash that was raining down, we had people yelling at us because they felt like they couldn't wear a mask. And it was just like, we're open. We want to be open. There's so many kids dying for connection that we wanted to stay open and be a resource and be a community. Yeah. And so we did that. And it was totally optional to come. And I heard a lot of opinions and that was if I could, I don't know. I learned a lot. Like there's some spots in life where I feel like I'd rather skip this section of my life. Yeah. But then you'd miss out on all of the experience that you got from that. Yeah. And that was one of those years where I've described, because I'm always a year off on people's grades, and it generally is the kids that I had in junior high during COVID. Yeah. And it feels like it was 6 months, and it also feels like it was 2 years in the same year. And it's crazy. But I don't know if you have like a season of life that kind of resembles that scenario at all.
I'd say COVID was a really hard time for me too, because after everything shut down, I was struggling with friendships in elementary school my last 6th grade year. And then I felt like I had no friends after everything shut down. I talked to like 3 to 4 people, which right now feels like a lot of people for me. Yeah. But back then, like it felt like so tiny, and I was really upset. And that's when my mental health just took a huge dip, because I thrived socially then. I don't know about now, but then having like a lot of friends, and I was well known in my elementary school, partially because my mom worked there, but I was like, what do I do with myself? Yeah. And then hearing that church opened up, I was like, oh, thank goodness. And at the time I was like, well, I don't really know who I like. And I was exploring my friendships, and it was there. Like I met so many of like my still like current friends. Yeah. And I would say majority of my friends are from church.
That's awesome.
So.
Yeah. Do you think that there's like something weird that happens when you move on from elementary school and get into junior high as far as like friendships go? Or do you think that was unique to COVID?
I think either way it's going to happen, because my mom, she's watched lots of grades go into junior high. And so she works as the librarian, and she like hires library helpers from 5th and 6th grade to help shelve books and keep things clean. And she's watched, that's my father's ringtone. Dramatic sigh. Anyways.
Boomer. Or as the kids say, unk. I'm learning.
I have no idea what he's talking about. Anyways, where was I? That completely threw me off.
Your mom kind of, the elementary school kids help out your mom, and basically like something changes with friendships.
Yeah. 6th grade year, she always witnesses a lot of drama. And that's when she like starts noticing like the friendship shift. Yeah. And she would always tell me like, hey, you're probably not going to be as friends with many people from elementary school when you start junior high. And I feel like with COVID, it made it a lot less than it usually is, because usually when you start junior high, you hang out with the people that you hung out from elementary school, and then you slowly meet new people. For me, it was like an immediate cutoff. But I didn't go back into person until 8th grade. No, late 7th grade, but it was only like a few days a week. Yeah. And you couldn't really like talk to people, and you were like
set apart.
Yeah.
Like 6 feet apart.
6 feet apart, masks. Couldn't really remember each other unless you were like really close to them, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll see you again. Yeah. But it was, I have like a distinct memory of playing Uno in PE with a bunch of people.
Did you win?
I think so.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Pretty dope. Yeah, I think a lot of things change as far as friendships go. Starting in junior high, I mean, you go from, you were probably in kindergarten through sixth grade with these people. And so you have like a tighter knit bond, but you also have like kind of been stuck with them. And then you get to junior high where you have multiple classes and you're not as stuck with people anymore.
Wow, new people. Wow.
I know. You get a bunch of new elementary school kids that are thrown in the pool of people that you could be friends with. And then, but then again, you do have all the drama that is sixth grade, and that's probably just people getting older, their hormones, they know more, and everyone's on a different level, and
Yeah.
it just breeds craziness.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that is junior high, is how do I handle all of these things, and
Yeah.
it's been a
COVID just
been a
like
joy.
blew everything up even
Yeah.
bigger. And that was
Yeah.
so fun.
a lot more like internal struggle I think people dealt with, and there was no external release.
Yeah, no, because you can't go like anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I was seeing a therapist, but since of COVID, I was like, there's no way I can do online sessions. That was just the whole reason I needed therapy at that moment was because of online sessions. I can't do online sessions.
Yeah.
I have Zoom trauma. I'm not even joking. If someone's like, "Hey, can we do an appointment on Zoom?" I'm like, "No,
No, please no.
please." Like, I'd rather drive miles than have like a phone call appointment.
I get that though. I mean, there's something special about being there in person, and I feel like that's been part of, I guess, I don't know if you would include me in your generation, but our generation's like, I know.
You're grasping.
I know.
I'll let you right now.
I was born in 96.
I'll allow
19. But I was born in 96. And so I'm in that weird year where the people older than me don't claim me in their generation, and the people younger than me don't claim me in their generation.
I'll allow it.
But I feel like it's just this weird amount of pressure for our generation of we want to feel experiences, yet every aspect of our lives is like becoming more and more online.
Yeah.
And robbing us of experiences that ultimately teach us how to actually handle emotions, friendships, relationships, all of that stuff in real time. And so then when we're actually dealing with them, we're unequipped.
Oh yeah. I was socially stunted there for a little bit. Still am.
Everyone is. And when in all the talking that I've done, man, that was a stutter. But in all of the like talking and ministry that I've done, the kids who really struggled the most were kids that were going into first grade, sixth grade to seventh grade, and then
Eighth to ninth.
Those were the kids who struggled the most.
Transitional. Yeah. That was probably like everyone struggled with COVID, but the transitions were so much difficult because transitions themselves are already hard.
Yeah.
And then you add a pandemic on top of it. Yikes.
I know. It's pretty crazy. Like I've spent my life navigating those, my entire adult life, pretty much navigating those transitions for and with junior high students. I have you for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I have 2 years.
Worst 2 years of my life.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad I got to be a part of those.
Yikes.
But you get to transition those 2 years with the kids and prepare them for high school, and hopefully prepare them well in the opportunities that you're given.
Yeah. I think when we started youth group, having those adults in my life, like I knew you and I liked you, but I don't know if we were close then, like emotionally, but at that time I was really close with Presley, and I would talk to her a lot about like what I was feeling, and like I've sent her quite a few paragraphs in my lifetime, and she's been like, what is she talking about? You know, Presley, I probably freaked out Presley a couple times, but it's fine.
Yeah.
She has me to, this is my pride and joy right here. She has me to thank for her successful marriage.
Oh, yeah?
Me and Becky, before they started dating, when they were friends, we were like, you like him. We know. You need to date.
Yeah.
Go out with him. And she's like, I don't know. And now they're married and have a beautiful baby girl. So
you're welcome.
You're welcome, Sophia. I'm the reason you exist.
Yeah, I think that's one like cool thing that you brought up is like junior high is such an odd age, and I've had many students in the past now, and the one thing that I've come to realize as I've gotten older is when you're young and you want to help out, you want to be everyone's person.
Yeah.
Like you want to be their person, their connection. And the reality is like you just can't. And as the ministry has changed and as the ministry has grown with me, I've become more and more content with I'm not going to be everyone's person.
Yeah.
Not everyone needs a Keaton. And also all of the leaders that are involved in the ministry, like they're not meant to be clone copies of me.
Yeah.
So if we had 20 Keatons running around, like people are scared enough for me to have a child.
No one would come to church.
Exactly. Exactly. Like people are scared enough for me to have a child. Imagine me just cloning myself. Like not every kid needs a Keaton. And so that's why like Presley was that person for you. You got to invest in her. You got to connect with her.
I can feel the hair on my body. It's freaking me out.
I have lots of hair.
Oh, it's a thread.
Oh, nice. But every kid kind of needs connection. And that's what I've like worked hard to try and provide in those transitional years is, hey, like in junior high, do you feel like you have somebody who cares about you?
Yeah, that was a huge thing. Like, because more than ever, we needed that connection with, and I had Presley, and then I had my small group leader, Alyssa. I love you, Alyssa. If you're seeing this, I love you.
I miss Alyssa.
Alyssa, come back. Put a poll down in the comments if you want Alyssa to come back. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
We'll clip that and send it to her. Don't worry.
But she actually ended up baptizing me in 8th grade. And I had been baptized in like 3rd grade, but you know, you're in 3rd grade and in reality, you just want to be dunked underwater and in front of people. At least that's how it was for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, they have the class to try to get you to like try to understand it, of course. But for Noelle, it was just being dunked underwater in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But when I was in 8th grade, we had a message. I forget it might have been you. You might have been, no, maybe, perhaps. And it was like, stop making excuses for your faith. Stop making excuses for moving forward. And I was like, you know what? Okay. And I got baptized that night.
That's awesome.
It was probably like the most spontaneous thing I've ever done, but also like one of the best feelings. And it was just great having that support and that connection with Alyssa to be like, I want it to be you. Like out of everyone, like I was thinking like, oh my gosh, it'd be so funny if Keaton baptized me, LOL. But I was like, no, I want Alyssa.
Yeah.
Because she was such a huge person for me from like 7th to 8th grade. And even now, like I still like every now and then I'll message her and I'll be like, guess what I did? Or ended up doing regen with her.
That's
so
awesome.
We were like, it was like a reconnection. I was like, oh, I miss her.
Yeah. I know.
I had great summer camp memories with her of like her talking in her sleep, asking for Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And her witnessing my 8 bloody noses in the span of 5 days.
I know. That was COVID year at Hume where we were outside like the entire time.
Yeah, and the air was dry and I was dehydrated because Noelle doesn't know how to drink water.
No, every junior high student does not know how to drink.
No one knows how to drink water.
Nobody. It's this weird thing from the time that you're like 10 to 12 or 10 to 13 or whatever. You just forget how to drink water.
I still forget. This is for a prop right here. This is a prop, not a real.
You got to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Some high quality H2O.
Yeah. I just really like the stickers. I think that's the only reason I buy water bottles is to put a bunch of stickers on them.
I just get my wife's old water bottles now so that she can buy as many as she wants. And then she gives them to me and I either lose them or get made fun of for drinking out of them.
I don't judge you. I appreciate that you're setting a good example for those 7th and 8th graders that don't know how to drink water.
Thank you.
Because I needed
the
that.
Lord's work.
I needed that.
Yeah.
There was, I think my favorite moment was we were in the middle of worship. I was like 5 rows from like the band, like right in front of the lead singer.
Yeah.
And this was the first one I had. I sneezed and just blood everywhere. And I had a mask on. So people thought I was coughing up blood and freaking out around me. And I'm sitting here laughing because I used to have bloody noses all the time because I was an impulsive nose picker and I would
Same.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, LOL, nosebleed. Yeah. And Haley was throwing masks at me because we didn't have tissues. And that was my tissue until Scott grabbed me, gave me his shirt as a tissue. And then later we discovered in the bathroom that ended up being both nostrils.
That's crazy.
And then I ended up with 7 other later that week.
Yeah, I remember like I actually think that might have been me who gave
I think you
shirt.
dragged me out and you're like, Scott.
Well, because I might have already lost my t-shirt because I think me and Scott both just like immediately lost the t-shirts that we were given because we gave them to kids with bloody noses. Yeah. It was a good time. That's not the first time that's happened.
And the shirt said, I don't care.
No, that was Scott's. Yep,
yeah,
that was
the
Scott's.
shirt said, I don't care. And it had blood all over it. I mean, you couldn't see it was black, but
yeah,
that was a great time.
Yeah, good times. But it seems like leading into that season, or like kind of what you said is you mentioned a lot of people who've had a big impact on your life.
Oh yeah, that was just so many. Scott was a huge person. And I think the reason Scott was because Scott gave me no filter. And that's what I really needed. Because I can't understand like people trying to fluff it up for me. They're like, well, it's not that bad. Scott would be like, no, Noelle, that's stupid. Don't do that. And I'd be like, thanks, Scott. I really needed that. He was my wake-up call.
Yeah. He's a lot of people's wake-up calls.
And like, that's honestly, like, I'm so upset. That, like, I know it's like great that he has a good job now, but like, why Scott? Like, I
know.
What do I do? Because he didn't give me his number on purpose. He didn't want me calling him or texting him.
It happens. It happens.
I'm like, I don't see him, and I'm like, man, I need my little no filter buddy.
I know. It's different how things change, and a lot of times people getting a promotion, it opens the doors for more people to kind of rise up and rise to the occasion. And that's kind of been the last year and a half or 2 years in the student ministries department, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's been a lot of change. I remember that was like, I don't do well with change. So
I know.
That was, what? No, what are you talking about? But I remember being really nervous when Chase came on. I'm like, who is this guy? Yeah. Now I love Chase.
Yeah.
But I was like, who is this random boy that is like stereotypical Disney adult in his in his love for cats up on stage? And I'm like, but I got used to him. It just took a minute. It happens with everyone. Like it's not personal. If you're new,
it takes time to get to know somebody.
If you're new, I'm gonna be a little weird for a little bit, but it's not you, it's me.
Hey, I have the opposite where I'm gonna be weird when you know me. Mm-hmm. You might be weird until you get to be known, but I'm gonna be weird after you know me.
It's more like an awkward weirdness, but when after you know me, you know everything. I have no filter too. Yeah. You like. If you've known me for 5 minutes, you've probably heard my life story already. Probably.
All right. So we had to pause, restart the cameras, all that good stuff. But what is your life story? I mean, we've been talking for a little bit. Yeah. So what is that?
So like I've said, I've gone to church my entire life. Mm-hmm. This Cross City. Yeah. Born and raised. If you're an OG, you know it as Northside. But not to flex, but but I've quite literally like been there my entire life. I've watched the frat house be built. My name is somewhere in the frat house written on the post. I've watched 330 be built. Yeah. I've been in that baby room. And despite having faith in my entire life, like having someone, that doesn't mean I didn't struggle. And I feel like that's like a huge common misconception. No, I had my issues. I still do. But in about 4th grade, I started having really bad anxiety due to some family stuff going on. Yeah. My grandpa was diabetic, and he was really struggling with. He was doing everything right, but his body wasn't responding, and
just deteriorating, kind of.
And he had, I don't know which type it is, but it's the type that infects your body parts, and he ended up having to have quite a few toes removed, so he did not have all his toes when he died. But
it's more common than you think.
Yeah,
my great grandma had that.
So he was having a lot of health struggles, and that's when I started developing a lot of anxiety, and I ended up developing trichotillomania, which is hair pulling. Okay. So in like 4th grade, I would just pull out my eyelashes and my eyebrows. There are many pictures of me with no eyelashes, and it's very creepy, but I would nonstop do this, and my parents didn't understand. And I was seeing a therapist, and she was a Christian therapist, but her only really answer was pray about it, which, don't get me wrong, is great.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any like physical coping skills to rely on, and I was really struggling. And it ended up, I still struggle with it pretty often.
Yeah.
I still pull up my hair a lot sometimes, especially if I'm in a stressful situation. And the thing about it is you don't really notice, or you feel like you can't control it. And it's just like, I used to get calluses on my fingertips from pulling.
Oh, wow.
And now I just have like really strong fingertips.
Yeah.
So I'm just,
Let's go.
yeah.
Got to get those gains when you can.
But it really impacted my confidence with like my physical looks then, because I looked different and I had no eyelashes and I had janky eyebrows and it was, now I can laugh at it, but there would have been a time where I would have bawled my eyes out. And it was around 5th grade where I started to notice things like I'm not like the other girls, or I noticed that I was different, and not like, I know everyone doesn't feel like they fit in, but it was like it was a different sense. It was like, there's something that puts me slightly to the side. Like I felt like, the way that I could describe it is, we were all playing a game. Everyone in the world is playing a game, and everyone had the rules of the game except me. And I had to learn the rules by looking at other people. And I started struggling with the rules around 5th and 6th grade. And I was a really weird kid. I was the kid that wore galaxy leggings and cat ears. And
You fit in nowadays.
I fit in nowadays, but if I had the option, I would probably still wear cat ears every now and then.
Yeah.
But, and that's when I feel like that's when some girls start maturing a little bit when it comes to those kind of things. And I remember just like feeling out of place because I was so expressive and nerdy, and I liked art and reading and music. And I remember when Visco girls were a thing, I felt like I felt so insecure. I was like, I want to be a Visco girl, having no idea what a Visco girl was. So I bought a hydro flask and some scrunchies, and I said, ska, 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 ska.
Yeah. I remember that phase.
And I was really struggling, and then I ended up, my best friend at the time in 6th grade ended up being like, hey, I don't want to be friends anymore. And I was just heartbroken.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this person knows everything about me, and I couldn't understand on why she didn't want to be friends anymore.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I did everything right. I followed the rules, but somehow I still messed up. And I blamed myself. And then everything shut down. And in 7th grade, just a huge depression dip.
Yeah.
And there were times where I was like, I just don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be in a world where, like, I don't talk to anyone. I don't see anyone. And I was just really struggling. Luckily, youth group opened up, and that did help me come back a little while. But I was still struggling for a bit there.
Yeah, it was only twice a week.
It was only twice.
At that time, it was only one.
It was only once a week.
Yeah.
And, you know, that didn't mean everyone's family would, like, let them come over to my house. But it is when I started getting close with people like Haley and Becky and Ariel. And then I met Miss Alyssa. I met Presley. And those were like tight people for me. And I would constantly just being like on the phone with people and being like, guess what? This happened. And when school started back up, I was really stressed out with like figuring out how to transition one day being at school and one day being at online. And it was hard to go back and forth for me because I preferred being in person.
Right.
Because I did great when I was in person. All my assignments were perfect. But as soon as we went online, like the next day, I just
fell apart.
There
were so many people like, I think teachers were literally told to give everyone a passing grade at that point.
Yeah.
I wish.
Pretty much everyone did except one teacher, but he was terrible. So that's a him problem.
He's not him.
He is not him. Yeah. But it was around 8th grade where things started looking up for a little bit. And then I lost my great grandma. And, you know, everyone's like, oh, well, that's your great grandma. But I grew up with her. She lived in this house with me for a long time. And she taught me how to sew. She taught me how to bake. She was a huge person in my life. And that just brought me back down again.
Yeah.
And it was around then when I started struggling with self-harm and I was really just not in a great place. And then I got COVID. So
then you're isolated.
Then you're isolated for about 2 weeks, and I got it bad. Like, my brother got it, and he was asymptomatic, and I still, like, kind of hate him for that. Because I was dead asleep.
Like, in
pain, clogged. All I did was sleep. There's many pictures of me, like, dead asleep on the couch from when I had COVID.
Let's go.
And I ended up getting in a relationship that really wasn't all that great for me. It was, well, I honestly shouldn't have been in a relationship, but no one's going to listen in middle school. You're like, yeah, I'm old enough to date, when really you're not.
I try to tell everyone. I try to tell them.
No one listens.
Nobody listens.
Which, you know, I mean, dating's important, but that early is not smart. And it was a very immature relationship, and he was kind of weird. And we ended up breaking up, and like she died. My grandma died around October. We broke up in December. I was really, really struggling.
So it's just kind of like a bang, bang, like
bang, bang, bang.
Together.
Got back together the next month.
Yeah.
And that was when I turned 13, 14. I don't know. Yeah. All a blur. And then ended up breaking up again. But I swore to myself, you know what? I'm done. You know, he doesn't get like to think that if he breaks up with me, like I'm gonna be all hurt and broken. But I was like, I'm gonna get clean. So I stopped hurting myself for about 5-ish months. I ended up dating a nice boy for a little while. I was a serial dater, and I relied a lot on a guy's opinion of me for like support. So
it can be a super powerful thing if you let somebody have that position in your life. And I think that's why kids get so accustomed to dating is it does feel good when it's going good.
Yeah, but when it's not,
feels not good.
Yeah, so I ended up dating a sweet boy for a while, and he was nice. It ended up not working out, and I was like, you know, I get that. And then I started high school, and I was in band. I played the French horn, and I started marching band like my brother. And lo and behold, guess what I found? A guy. And so I started dating this boy, and he was struggling too with his mental health. And he was trying to get clean from nicotine and weed. And I was like, you know, I'm here for you. You know, I can support you. And like, I really tried my best for him.
Right.
But he was very toxic and manipulative and blames me for his shortcomings, and eventually led me to a very lustful lifestyle. And he ended up forcing me into things that I didn't want to do and I was not ready for, and persuading me into things that I was not ready for. And I felt so far from God there. And I relapsed around that time too. I was going like
self-harming.
Yeah. I never ended up doing drugs with him, but because I was trying to help him get clean, which later like realized he probably never was at any point in the relationship. But and the weird part is everyone's like, oh wow, how long did you date? And it was like only like 2-3 months. But the amount of damage he did in those 2 to 3 months was insane. Yeah.
And dating is like an incredibly difficult, like you can be so open with somebody, but you also open yourself up to that pain. A lot of damage can be done very quickly.
And during that time, he would break it off, and then I would like come back and be like, please take me back. And he'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah. And during those 2 to 3 months, I ended up hospitalized twice. Yeah. For keeping myself safe. Yeah. Once was by my therapist, and another time was I ended up talking to a school counselor, being like, I don't trust myself to go home.
Yeah.
And those are terrible. The
Yeah,
24
experiences.
24-hour crisis centered was not at all like safe and like rehabilitating. It honestly was more traumatizing for that. And I was trying to get through marching season because I love band. I really did. And I was trying my best. And it was when he like actually broke it off, like actually like was like, we're actually done. Like no more calling back. It tore me apart.
Yeah.
And I was in bed for like days. And I missed a marching band competition. And I was so upset with myself because of that. And I was just, my mom could see something was wrong, and my parents had no idea what to do. They couldn't handle seeing, and they were, I was in therapy, you know.
You were doing all of the things.
I was doing all of the things, and they were like, what do we do? So it was about a week before marching band's finals, my parents said that they took me to therapy, and I was like, oh, why is my dad coming? They sat me down, and they're like, we have no other choice, and we're going to send you to residential treatment.
I remember that.
Yeah. We remember that because you were living, I think, right there.
Living down the street.
Yeah.
At
And
the time.
it was really hard. And I didn't blame my parents because I knew that some people feel like their parents are like, oh, we're done with you, go away. But I knew that that's what I needed. And honestly, I felt so grateful.
It was like almost a relief.
It was almost a relief.
You mentioned earlier that change is really difficult for you, but it seemed like at this point, the only thing that could help you was the change.
Yeah. So I stuck it out because they hadn't found a treatment for me yet, but they knew that was the path that we were going. So I finished marching band finals, which was really rough because he was in marching band with me.
Yeah.
And I finished, and then like the week after was Thanksgiving break. I spent that entire week in bed.
Yeah.
And people think that rock bottom is when you are hurting yourself. But for me, it was when I couldn't even get out of bed to do that.
Yeah.
Because that's like, all I did was be in bed and cry. And I don't remember eating a lot. I don't remember getting up often. I know that you came over for dinner at one point. I know that Scott came over to try to get me up, and Denise and Haley, but I couldn't.
I know. It was a tough season of life, and our emotions can have such power over us. And I mean, but it does take effort from community.
Yeah. It was honestly, you guys coming over was like a huge thing. And yeah, you just came over for dinner, but
It came over for dinner and to annoy you.
to annoy me.
Yeah.
And it was December 5th when it was December 4th was the last day that I had in town. I went to church and I had everything packed in the car. We were going to leave right after church, but I told my parents, I want to go before we leave.
Yeah.
And so we did. We packed everything in the car, and I came to church, and I said goodbye. Only two of my like youth group people, like my age, knew, and that was Haley and Becky. But right before I left, every pastor, all my small group leaders, like gathered around and prayed for me, and it was so. I was bawling my eyes out, and it's taking me everything right now to like not.
Yeah.
Because it was so powerful. Like, Scott hugged me.
Scott
doesn't hug people. He hugged me.
Yeah.
And it was, at that time, I felt like, you know, I was grateful for those people, but I was like, what is prayer going to get me here? You know?
Yeah.
And I was just bawling my eyes out in Haley's arms, saying goodbye.
I know. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that. Like, it was such a, for somebody on the other side of things, it was a really sad moment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it was hopeful.
Yeah.
Because we
were
hoping
getting
that,
help.
that treatment, like, there was change in the right direction. And, you know, we were hopeful. We were praying for this opportunity for you to change. And now look where we are.
Yes. It gets me teared up every time I think about holding Haley like that.
Yeah.
Because she's my best friend. and it's really hard.
When you really find out who your friends are in those like core moments. So in some of our like other podcasts, Brooke's podcast, it was kind of like Brooke had health problems, and she really got to know who her friends were by the ones who stood beside her. Yeah. Not just out of like relationships of convenience. And those are when you really find out who cares.
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad I got the opportunity to show you that I cared.
I don't know about that. But yeah, I think like the time I realized that this was real is actually when Scott hugged me. I was like, oh crap. Yeah. Oh no.
It's done deal.
Yeah. And so we drove up and we spent the night in the hotel that had a goose lamp.
Let's go.
It was a great goose lamp. And I just remember like laughing so much because I spent the night in my parents' bed. And we were laughing over something stupid. And we just couldn't stop laughing. I have the video somewhere of us just dying laughing over my mom saying something weird. Yeah. Like, and it was a good way to say goodbye, but it was my parents and my brother. We were all up there. It was in Sonoma, California. And the next day, December 5th, I went into residential treatment. Yeah. And I remember the porch and driving up and bringing all of our stuff and just on this bench on the porch is where we said our goodbyes. And it was so like, you don't want to think that you'll be away from your parents and your family. Yeah. And just everyone was crying, even my brother. Like my brother, he's very, very, very well, as the really children would say, he's very nonchalant. And so seeing him like cry was so hard. And so I went in and I don't remember a lot. I remember not sleeping well. I remember having nightmares. I remember switching my meds. I remember one of the girls ended up bringing in COVID. And we were all in lockdown for like 2 weeks, and all we did was watch Marvel movies. And honestly, like, it was the most healing and yet traumatizing experience of my life. Yeah. Because I got to know really wonderful people there. It was weird. I mean, everyone was trying to heal, but it was so hard being away from everyone's families. We became each other's families for those time that we were there. And I had to spend Christmas in treatment. Yeah. And that was the hardest thing I've ever done. And it was around 10:30 at night where I was in my room and I was redecorating. And I was able to have a sharp object and I hurt myself. And that was the last time.
I'm glad that was the last time.
That was the last time.
Yeah.
And it was around January 7th where I was in the living room of one of the houses, because we were in houses. Okay. It wasn't like a hospital. We were actually in houses. It was probably the most humane you can get with treatment. We were really lucky to find somewhere so humane for us. Like, we had beds and we had blankets and we had
more like normal life. Yeah. Together with different people you didn't really know.
Yeah. And a bunch of therapists. Yeah. And people trained to
normal accommodation.
Yeah. Yeah. And people trained to body slam you if needed.
When it's beneficial to body slam.
When it's beneficial. But I was in the living room and it was my turn to call my parents. And I get handed a paper because I had recently done some sort of like tests before. I get handed a paper and I'm looking through it and I got results. Yeah. And I found out that I am autistic. Yeah. What? Who would have thought?
I know. I remember being at one of the family dinner. Like, I think it was Shelly and I were both here. Yeah. I think it was like right after Shelly and I got engaged. Actually, like that next
dinner.
Yeah, that next dinner. And you and your brother were like going back and forth about it. But what was it like to be diagnosed with autism? Like, how? Well, tell me about that.
I answered the phone to my mom and I was just like, "Mommy," and I just started crying. Yeah. And my mom was crying. My dad was a bit too. And then my brother's like, hand me the phone.
Yeah.
And he goes, I told you. And that was like, we just started dying.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, you do realize that if you're on the spectrum, that I'm on the spectrum?
I mean, do you think it explains, like, was it more relieving because it explained a lot of some of the frustration and all of that stuff?
So the first thing I did when I got off of that phone call was I went to the bathroom and I was just staring at myself in the mirror and I just repeated, I'm not crazy. Yeah. I was just crying and repeating, I'm not crazy over and over.
Yeah.
And it was such of like, people are like, well, why do you need a diagnosis? Like, why is that such a huge thing for you? And I'm like, that diagnosis saved my life. That diagnosis explained everything for me. Yeah. And that way I was able to get more specific treatment and meds and able to have compassion for myself. And I learned so much about myself. Like, even just with that paper saying, hello, you're autistic, like that like opened so much for me. And I got out of residential on January 13th, which also was Friday the 13th. And I was like low-key scared that we were going to get in a car crash on the way home. And immediately after, like, Haley came over, we just hugged, like, for so long. In that doorway, right there.
Yeah.
And after that experience, you know, you're like, well, what do you do? Like, where do you go? And they usually have you do a step-down treatment. So I was in a step-down treatment for a while as I learned to navigate my new diagnosis and coming back into normal life. Because I think the scariest thing for me is when I came back, I had to see that ex-boyfriend. I had to see the boyfriend that put me in such a state where I had to get that kind of treatment. And he knew about it too, because I made the stupid choice of telling him because I was still hung up on him. I was trying to somehow reel him back in with like saying like, look at how much pain I'm in. Look how bad I feel, which it didn't work, which
praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
But I think the weirdest thing about that treatment was I don't remember praying much. Like I packed my Bible. I don't think I ever took it out of the suitcase.
Yeah.
And I think at night when I couldn't sleep, every now and then I would talk to God. But I remember being angry. I remember being like, why am I here? Yeah. Like, why do I have to be separated from my family? Because I only saw them, like, they only came to visit in person about 3 or 4 times. And their only family was allowed to visit. Right. So I didn't see my friends for 40-ish days. Yeah. I didn't, and most people didn't even know where I was. They're like, oh, well, Noelle disappeared. We like to say, to the people that really don't know about it, we just joke that I spawned in. I lost my spawn point, and I found my way back.
Let's go.
So,
well, like I find it interesting that, you know, God wasn't necessarily a part of this portion, but, you know, like there is a balance between like allowing God to be a part of your life in those moments, but also there's some real practical steps that you also need to take despite just praying. Yeah. Like, I mean, the book of James says like we need to pray and not just play the part, but you actually need to have actions that follow up on your faith.
Yeah. You can't just be like, Lord, help me go to church more, and then be like, oh no, I don't want to go. It's too early, which I'm a little guilty of that. But
hey, it happens. It happens to the best of us. Okay, so
wait, don't you have to clap?
Oh yeah, good catch. Perfect. You're the professional. So we had to take another break for the cameras, but you know, you kind of talked about how you had to go into this treatment facility, and then you had a step down program coming back into normal life. What was it like to hit the reset button on life when you came back?
It was so weird because I remember coming back because we had no internet access. I'm like, what are all these references? I don't understand what people are referencing. Yeah. And I was like, what does this mean?
It's got to be how our parents feel like.
I know. I was like, I felt so alienated for a really long time. But besides being behind on the memes, it was a weird feeling because I didn't owe everyone an explanation, and there's no way I could. Yeah. And I just had to be like, yo, my mom just took me out of school, or I don't know. Like, I tell some people who ask more questions that I to live with my aunt for a while, which because my aunt lived in Sonoma, so it actually worked out great. But it was a weird adjustment. But I think the best thing is literally the week after I came home.
Yeah.
Winter camp.
Oh, that's
Hume
right.
Lake winter
Yeah,
camp.
you got to like come home and then you went right to camp with us.
I went
which was
right
so
to
cool.
camp the next week. And
Yeah.
that was like such a great experience.
Because it was probably like you got to catch up with all of your friends from church like all at once right away.
Because I told everyone pretty much immediately, like, hey, sorry, I was in the psych ward. Well, I wasn't in the psych ward, but I was in residential treatment.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Most of them had a feeling
Right.
because, I mean, there's no way you can't notice. Like, where the freak did Noelle go for a whole month?
Yeah, it do be like that sometimes.
Yeah. But I think having that winter camp, I was like determined to get home for winter camp.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure like Rachel like messaged my mom like, hey, if she doesn't make it, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, I was like, no, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there. But when I got there, having that like immediate like, guess who's back, which is not just Noelle but also Jesus in my life.
Yeah.
After being gone for so long was a huge thing. And I think that was having that community was very helpful.
Yeah.
And it's weird to think about because this was so long ago. It was 2021, 2022. Wait, no.
It was January of 23.
No, January 22 to 23.
Yeah.
I'm behind. I don't know my numbers.
Hey, it happens. Do you think, like, kind of going back on that, would you do it again? Like, would you go through all of that again?
I there's no way I would have survived without it.
Yeah.
And it's so scary.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think it is just as traumatizing as it was healing, but I was able to actually heal after that. The trauma, well, not all of it, but the trauma of residential stopped after it. And all I had to do was keep healing.
Yeah.
And having that step down program was a huge help. I met great people there. And having my church after that was so huge.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, yay, Noelle's back. So, but that brought a lot of people like close because we take people for granted all the time. And I think we took our family for granted too. Like when my family came to visit the first time, that was, like I said, my brother never cries. He was bawling.
Yeah.
We were all hugging and my brother was like holding it in.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I missed you so much. And then he just starts crying. Oh my gosh. That was like,
it's like some core memories. And so now that you've moved past it, like what does your life look like now? Like, I guess that was the time when you were weak and kind of at a lower point in your life. But now how have you kind of clawed yourself out of that low point?
I'm spiritually jacked.
Let's go.
Of course I still struggle. And I think a huge part of it after the fact though, what has been a recent struggle for me, there's two like huge ones, is I feel kind of resentful towards myself for being autistic and having those differences between me and like another person. And I get frustrated because I don't always understand like social cues. I have social deficiencies, which, other areas make up for it, but I get really frustrated with when I feel like I've done everything right and something still goes wrong. Yeah. Because I'm like, I did everything right. Like I think that's why that friendship back in elementary school, I was like, I did everything right. I tried to figure it out, but it still went wrong. Like, and it's just having more compassion for myself. But I remember this last winter camp, actually, I was just, you were there, were there. And that's when he actually told me about the podcast that you were planning. This was when it was just random, like little Keaton notes. Yeah. It was, I was just spawning it in for lack of words, but it was very much like a really rough idea. Rough, like, hey, we're going to pull the roughest of drafts. And then now we've had a couple like run throughs of it, and I wanted to make sure it's kind of more polished. Yeah. But I was like, I felt so angry at myself. And then my mental health took a huge toll on my physical health. Yeah. And now I have a lot of physical health problems. And I was frustrated with my body not working the way that I want it to. Yeah. And I was just like, God, I don't understand why this happened. I don't understand why I have to be on the spectrum. I don't understand why I have to go through all of this. Like, I was really angry. And then a little bit after that camp, I went to Regen.
Yeah.
And that was a huge thing for me, just being like, because I felt bad for being angry. I felt like how, like, but, you know, we're allowed to have those emotions, and we're allowed to, you know, be like, it's like when I've been reading the Old Testament, it was like, I think it was Job when he had like that atomic crash out over was it him that lost all his family?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And he
lost everything.
Yeah. And he was like, how dare you? And he was like, I was reading it and I was like, whoa, okay, buddy. And then I was like, wait, I kind of did that too.
Well, I guess in that phase of life, like, how much of that stuff that was angering you could you have controlled?
Not a lot of it.
But you could control your response.
Yeah, I could. And after that, after you were like, we talked, I don't remember what we said at all. I'm going to be completely honest.
I listened a lot more than I talked.
Yeah.
I know that.
But I just getting it out. And I just remember you being like, you know, God can take your anger. That was a huge thing for me because I felt like I bottled it up. And I was like, I can't let him see that. I don't want to be angry at him because I still love him. Yeah. And it hurts to be angry at him, but I am. But you being like, he can handle it.
Yeah.
Was like a huge thing. And after that, I was like, he can handle me being special. He can handle me being a little autistic child.
Yeah.
He can handle me not understanding things because I don't need to. I think that's like a huge thing is I want to understand everything, but I don't need to.
Yeah. And you won't ever understand
I won't
everything.
The amount of questions I have when I get to heaven, like, why mosquitoes?
Yeah.
Why? That's my huge
You
thing.
gotta feed one layer of the animal kingdom that can feed another layer. It's a delicate ecosystem.
He could have figured it out without him. I'm just saying.
Hey, but that God's plan, man. You know,
God's plan to give me itchy bug bites everywhere.
That's true. I've had some pretty bad experiences with mosquitoes, but I think that this idea of control is something that a lot of people struggle with, and we want to make life into this. If I do this, then this will happen. But friendships and relationships, you don't control it all.
Yeah, I was the kid.
And it's so frustrating.
I was the kid that was like gonna tell you how, like when you were playing family. She's like, I was like the kid that would tell you everything that you had to do. I was usually the mom too.
Yeah.
Hi, Dad. So I was always very controlling.
Yeah.
And then recently at CIY, I had always had the idea of being a therapist, of helping kids like me, helping neurodivergent kids. And then when they had the call to ministry, I was like, why am I standing up?
Yeah.
What? Where did my legs get up here?
That's awesome.
And I remember it not feeling real until Denise passed me the baton. I just cried.
Yeah.
And I realized that I'm probably still going to study psychology.
Yeah.
But I think I'm probably going to do something like you. I'm probably going to end up being like a high school or a kids pastor. But I would probably have like a background in psychology so I can really apply that. Yeah. Because I love psychology.
Well, and even a lot of the things that you went through, like I wasn't equipped to help you. Like I could love on you. I could support you when I could, but I didn't have the practical education skills, all of that stuff to really help you kind of hit that reset button.
Yeah. We got there eventually.
But that is a ministry.
Yeah.
It's not ministry in the sense that a lot of people think it is, but I mean, you can make anything a ministry.
Yeah.
And I think that, especially in the world today, like the amount of people that ask us for counseling, that would be.
Yeah.
That would
I could be a
equip you
church
for.
therapist.
Yes.
Like that could literally be my thing.
Yes. And there are more churches bringing more resources to that area.
Yeah. Like the Well has like their own, like I've been there to like their like kind of like counseling offices.
Yeah.
I met a really nice lady there. If you're watching this, I love you. And I only saw her once, but just that experience was a really good one. And I mean, I don't know if I want to move out of town, but bringing something like that to Cross City. Yeah. Like we have Regen now and that's a huge thing. And like for students, we had like.
There's like a lot of steps in the right direction. And
because
it'll take somebody who wants to get educated.
I've always been a huge advocate for mental health, even before all these things that I discovered about myself. But now, like more than ever, like the Valley doesn't have good mental health resources. I had to go 4 hours away, and we're finally getting more. Like the residential I went to finally built one in the foothills near us, and
and
on the way to Shaver Lake actually, and like we're finally getting more and more, but it's never enough, and not enough people bring light to neurodivergency, and that is a huge thing. And people are like, oh, more and more people are autistic nowadays. Like, no, there's more resources. More people are looking into themselves. And maybe there are more people because it is an environmental thing.
Well, and there's more people who are equipped and educated in order to diagnose it. And there's more resources and all of that stuff now. But I think that's a really cool like future to aspire to. And, you know, wherever that leads you, you can do that kind of ministry. It's going to look different from the ministry that you've seen. And that's okay. But if you're doing it with God centered, then that's going to be, you know, you look back at your story and the first therapist that you had was just like, just pray about it. Like,
yes,
you should be praying about it, but there also is like some practical skills and coping mechanisms that you can give people. It's prayer and action.
Action.
You know, faith and action.
I think like a huge thing is everyone's like, wow, Noelle, you're so strong. And I'm like, yeah, but there's no way I could have made it without like that. Just thinking about, for me, a huge thing is that circle that said goodbye to me. There's no way I would have made it out without those people praying while I couldn't, because I didn't have it in me, because I felt angry and I felt like it was my fault still. And I still had the idea that Noelle was to blame for everything that happened and not other factors. And there's no way I would have made it out. And like now that I look back at it, I can see little hints of God while I was in treatment. Even though I couldn't see it then, he was still there. And I think that's me becoming less. That was because everyone will tell me, you're so strong for that. And I'm like, no, that wasn't all me. Like, it made me stronger. But at the time, I was weak. There was no strength in that. That was all my community. That was all God. And I remember being like, God wasn't there, but he was. I mean, I couldn't see him. And people have the sense of like, I feel God. I've never really felt God. Like, I don't get that because my brain just doesn't understand that concept, but I can see him in my life in the past. So while I might not be able to feel him right now, when I look at this time later in my life, I can be like, oh yeah, he was there and there and there. And he's here. Like, I know that he's here right now. I know that he was there when I was at CIY and changing things for me. I know that he's here, and he's probably like, right by the microphone, like, oh yeah, it's me. And now I'm actually like, I've been getting into the word more, and because that's always something I've struggled with is actually reading my Bible. So what I do is I play the Bible app. I have the voice going, and then I'm usually like crocheting or playing Animal Crossing while I'm listening. But I felt bad that I couldn't be like everyone else who can read their Bible and write.
I can't do that.
I can't do that, no. And I feel like that's why I've kind of, there's me and my other friend in my youth group, Genevieve, and we'll be crocheting in like the middle of someone's like serving. I promise I'm listening. Like, I feel like bad because they're like, why are these people randomly knitting or something? Well, one, it's crochet. And two, like, I am listening. That's how I listen. Like, some people can write in their Bible and write notes. Some people can just look and listen. Some people need to crochet while they listen. And I would love to take notes, but then I'm going to be too locked in on the notes to actually listen. And that's something I've learned too, is my version of praise and looking and seeking the Lord is going to look different. Especially because of my neurodivergency. That changes a lot. And people are like, oh, you're not that different. Or you don't look autistic.
That's
what do you want me to do?
That's pretty cringe.
You
can just make a t-shirt that says
like,
it.
I am autistic.
To make it ultimately clear for people.
I'll make Denise make me a shirt that says I am autistic. But
as we kind of wrap this stuff up, like, you've been in the Word more, you've kind of come out of the season of life, and you're kind of building those habits where you're able to look back on things and see where God is, and now you're looking forward at, this is what I want to do with my life. This, I want to use this skill of something that had helped me in the past, I want to help other people who are like me. And I want them to see God in that. But we've had all these trash bags behind me in the shot for a purpose, and I waited to the end to explain it. But like, can you tell us like a little bit more about what all these are for?
So at CIY, I chose to get a Kingdom card, and my Kingdom card was get 2 bags worth of donations and give them to a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
I have 2 bags worth like by myself. So I decided that I was going to double that. Well, not double. I was going to multiply that by 10 and reach for 20 bags. And I'm pretty sure we're already over 20 bags. Thank you to the Morgans that donated like 95% of that.
Let's go.
But we need to go through it because the women's shelter that we are donating to only takes close, and some of that is not close. But
I mean, one of those women would be very happy with the Heelys that I see right over there.
Oh yeah, there's a little boy that's probably in there with his mom that's going to be like, Heelys! But eventually we are, and since Mission Thrift recently had a fire, the rest is going to Mission Thrift.
Right on.
So eventually my friends are going to help come over, sort through it to make sure it's all closed, and then drop it off. Because we're supposed to pray over it before we do that.
Yeah.
But we're going to drop it off, and we're doing the women's one that our church feeds into.
Okay. Right
so, you know, we already have that connection, luckily.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get to pray over the clothes, maybe pray over some people.
Yeah.
And because, I mean, it's a women's shelter, so they have not only women, but their kids there. And that's probably why I really want to do it. It's because there's kids there, and I love kids.
Well, it's all about the next generation.
It's all about
right?
the next generation.
Well, one thing I'm going to say to you before we kind of shut this down.
I do want to share one more thing, but go ahead and say it.
Oh no.
No, I'm not sharing a meme, I promise.
Is it the picture of my car with the flamingos?
No, it's not the picture of the car. Well, that is important.
Yeah.
So
I'll put it on the screen.
As of today, I am 960 days clean.
Let's go. That's like 3 years almost.
Almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So 3 years it's coming up.
That's awesome.
In September, I'm going to reach 1,000 days.
Let's go.
So that's like crazy. And I think it's so crazy for me to be in senior year when there was a time where I couldn't see this.
Yeah.
And seeing how I look too. Like I can, you know, there's this, like people were like, oh, you can see the Jesus glow. But and I was like, oh, I don't see it. But like, I can feel it though.
Yeah.
And it's like looking at like when I got my braces off.
Yeah.
That was like, whoa. I'm alive to get my braces off.
There's a glow up.
Yeah. Because just watching myself change from how I looked in residential with my short hair and my braces and all these difference and watching me grow into the person I became today. Yeah. I love looking at old photos and being like, wow. And I like imagine like me talking to little Noelle and being like, look how far we got.
Yeah. Well, and from somebody who's been along for the ride, like, I'm glad I got to be a part of a lot of these like momentous moments in your life.
You're a bigger part than you think. I just want you to know that.
That's a scary statement, but I'm glad I got to, like, I really am glad I got to be there. And, you know, I might not fully understand what my presence or what my care brought to you, but I just know that I'm really glad I got to be there in the past. And hopefully I've been a good influence in those moments. But as somebody who's been along for the ride, like I'm really proud of where you were and how you've come out of it. And as you look for the future, you know, like I'm glad of where you've set your sights.
I'm actually so excited though.
Yeah, I'm excited for you.
I've never been this excited for like, I've always been a little nervous about going into the next school year. And I've had some recent changes in my life that were like really hard for me. With specifically my electives, I ended up having to drop band for mental health and physical health. But now I'm going to join drama and art, and I have a free period. I get to go home early. Yeah. And I'm so excited. And I can't believe that's next week.
Yeah. And as you get older, you shed different parts of your life and it'll bring in new seasons and different things. But I'm pumped for your future, and you just got to go get them, Tiger.
I'm like, oh my gosh, school. Like I've never been this excited since like kindergarten, and you're like, oh my gosh, your first day of school.
Yeah.
Like, I need to find like my little kid backpack that I want to get. I haven't found one yet.
It is a senior year thing. Yep. Well, good luck in school next week. This will be airing in October, so that'll sound really weird when people hear it.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. We'll be in the middle, but
yeah, just know I'm pumped for you.
Happy Halloween.
And happy Halloween. We'll see you next time.
Wow.